because that, franchise agreement ended up in a referendum by the citizens of Heber Springs, and it ended up in court. And Circuit Court Judge Holly Meyer ruled that because it's referenced in the city ordinance by section 4, that the application of Survival Flight Inc. and all materials submitted and attached thereto are incorporated herein by reference. That the proposal and everything that Survival Flight submitted for the city franchise became binding. I was in court when Judge Meyer made that statement. So I went back and I looked at everything that was in the franchise agreement. And interestingly enough, in stage 1, under the section in their proposal, response area functional responsibilities, Survival Flight made the statement that Survival Flight EMS will also respond to any city, township, or emergency district within the county of Cleburne when requested for advanced life support care or mutual aid. And also in stage 2, when they're talking about expanding the ambulance service to the county, which I guess that's where we are, is at stage 2. They're saying that future expansion to county coverage would result in additional Survival Flight EMS units being strategically stationed in certain areas of the county for a faster ALS response. There's nothing in here about money that they were required to operate in the county. So, since the judge ruled, and I have a copy of her judgment, that everything that Survival Flight submitted, because it was made part of the city ordinance, is part of the franchise agreement, we already have county coverage. So I'm sitting here going, why do we need a contract when we already have the coverage per the city franchise, per Survival Flight's proposal? So I wanted to point this out because it was very curious to me, and this is all that was submitted to court that Judge Meyer.
Does it say anything about the number of units, or just?
No, it just said additional units.
Additional units, which they have been honoring that by taking calls in the county. Thank the good Lord that they have.
Exactly, and I appreciate that very much. This is not,
but it don't say anything about.
It's not a criticism of Survival Flight, it's just
No, I
a statement of
understand that,
fact.
I understand that, but it don't say anything about, one way or another, whether we can go ahead and expand by offering them, going into a contract for a certain amount of money to offer the citizens of the county more coverage. It don't say anything about you cannot do that.
Our contract, though, needs to make sure that we're not contradicting anything
Oh, I understand.
that's in the city contract. That's why I reviewed the documents.
Right.
Okay? And I found where Survival Flight said that they would cover any city, township, or emergency district in the county.
And they
So
have been.
why is that different? The expansion occurs when they say, okay, if we go out to the county, we're going to purchase additional units. It doesn't say that, but it says they would provide additional units and strategically place them in the county, which in this contract, it didn't even define where those strategic places are except for one place. So, I went through the whole proposal that was made to the city on the franchise, and it says in several places that they will cover the county.
That's an agreement between the city and the franchise, and wouldn't the city be the only one that can enforce it?
Yes, that's
Even
my
though
understanding.
That's what they say, if they don't do it, we can't.
Why don't we, the city, wanted to?
The city has to sue it, not us, so that's why we would want our own agreement.
Yeah, but the city really didn't have the authority to make the agreement
That's
on
not our
behalf of the
problem,
county.
Judge.
I know, but let me finish what I was gonna say. The city didn't have the authority to make the agreement that involved the county. That was part of Survival Flight's proposal, and Judge Meyer stated in her judgment that because the city ordinance included by reference, everything that Survival Flight submitted to get the franchise, that it's binding.
I don't disagree with that, but the person sitting in the driver's seat to enforce that's the city don't care about
I
it.
know, the county needs to go to the city and say, you need to enforce your franchise
You can't
agreement.
blame them.
No, you can't, well, you can take them to court. But I'm just saying, we're sitting here talking about maybe spending $250,000 over the next 2 years on a contract, and I'm going, why do we need to spend money when the city has already made a contract on behalf of the county? Probably unknowingly, I'm not saying there's anything nefarious, but I'm just saying, this is what their document says. And a judge said that it's binding, and it includes the county.
And they have fulfilled it.
Here's the thing from this, and then you're asking me saying why, because I have to come up with the why also. Why? And why is this? We're talking about putting a unit out north, and cutting down the amount of time that it takes to get somebody out there to help. I mean, I don't know how much a bike is worth financially, but if it's my life, it's worth a whole lot more than $125,000. I'm on street preaching to the choir, I understand that,
Okay.
but we're talking about putting an ambulance on the north side of the lake. Permanently. You know, and that's the conclusion that I came up with, is that alone is a good enough basis to do this project.
Have you read the city
But the
contract?
proposal that was given by Survival Flight to the city, that is now part of this ordinance, which is law, states that when they expand to the county, they would provide the additional units and place them in strategic locations in the county. That's the point where we are right now. Am I not understanding something here? But I see that where we are is
We're
at that
working on
point,
getting them strategically placed, strategically placed.
but they've already offered to do that without a contract from us. Because it's part of the franchise agreement with the city.
They don't have to.
Well, it's a contract, I mean, if they don't, okay, if a company doesn't honor this contract, are they gonna honor yours? I mean, we're controlling the county purse, and we've got an opportunity to have, I mean, I would love to have Survival Flight cover the county. And this whole ordinance talks about phase 1 and phase 2, and it promises the sum of the million to start the county coverage. It doesn't mention anything about needing money to do it, and it's a signed contract. Now, I know the city signed it, but the goal here is to get countywide ambulance coverage, right? Well, if we have an opportunity to get that to zero versus spending $250,000, should we try?
Well, that's the thing, they are using it just for zero now.
We're talking $250,000, it's $125,000.
Over
For 2 years, the contract covers 2 years.
2-year contract.
$125,000 per year.
Right, that's a 2-year contract.
$250,000.
So it's $250,000.
But they have no incentive whatsoever to put an ambulance to the north end, they can cover.
Well, then why did they sign this contract?
They,
If they had no incentive to follow it, why did they sign it?
I don't say they're not following it, they're covering the county.
Then why do we need to have this
They
contract?
don't have to at this point.
Well, if they're covering the county, now, what are we talking about? I mean, if they wanna come, it even talks about
We're
coming
talking
over.
about coming from Heber or coming from Drysdale or Bruceberry.
Well, that's all taken care of right here in stage 2.
I'm not being,
Well, you need to read it again then, because it's right here. It says that they will come and have it in the county. And you know, back whenever we were talking about switching services, it was all hinged on proposals. North started a proposal, South Flight had a proposal. Why do you think this one was chosen over the other? It's a good proposal. It is. It gives you more coverage than we've ever had. That's why we argued, because we were saying, I don't think you can do this as a private company because you go broke. And that, you know, we were looking at this saying, you can't do it, everybody was saying, oh, yes, we can. Okay. Well, now you got it. It's right here.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
And it's strictly, you know, the way I understand it, it's you, I mean, I can understand what you're saying, it's completely right. You know, but let me throw in a big old but, you know, it's gonna be the county suing the city, because the city won't sue them? I mean, you know, it all runs into a crash dead end.
Why don't we work together?
That's just it, has never worked yet.
Well, why don't we go to the city and say, hey, man, this is a great deal for us?
And how long, in my mind, and I don't know, I just take everything simply. You know, if I was in business and I made a mess up, and say it's my fault, I signed that contract and didn't realize it, you know, and something like that comes up, I personally couldn't be in business very long. And then we're back in the same spot we are.
If you did that, you personally couldn't be in business very long.
You're absolutely right.
Just remember that.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. I didn't know much about ambulance service before I started with some.
And you still don't.
What's that microphone close? I can't hear. But
Speak up, Brett.
what I've heard in the past year or two is that there's been a lot of folks that have fought tooth and nail to keep survival flight from trying to respond to things in these other districts. You know, needed mutual aid agreements and understand that. They've tried to go there, and then there has been, even Quorum Court members filed, with the health department saying, you cannot come out in the county to do it. You cannot come out in the county. They've been fighting for that for like a year or two, and all this time, the dispatch will tell you facts that they have issues. It's just scrambled up, and we need to get it straight. This committee we're just trying to make it better for everybody. You know, and it just seems like there's a lot of folks that just want to stick the stick in the spokes. It don't matter, it's never gonna be 100% good for everybody. I really believe we're trying to, let's just make it better for folks on Northside Lake. If you look at these maps, there's no, as far as I understand, there's no, volunteer EMS service on about the third south part of the whole county. That's what I've been told. You can tell me I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, that's fine. We just try to make it better and have more access to the folks. I live in the city limits. I've got good ambulance service, but there's a lot of extremities this county that does not. We just try to make it better, you know? That's all we're trying to do, and it's just like, this is a backdoor thing to work. You wanna bring up, if it ain't one thing, it's another, I'm ready to bring something back and vote
There's
on it.
already an existing contract.
I'm ready.
There's already an
To
existing
expand
contract.
on this contract,
But
it's going to take just a little bit of county funds. If we need to spend a little county funds to get coverage on the north side of the lake, and their coverage on the south side of the lake, we beat this can and found every crook and cranny to try to keep it from happening. That's.
I'm not trying to keep anything
Yes, Ms.
from
Martin,
happening.
yes, you are.
Excuse me?
Well, it's just real simple.
All I did was point out facts that
That's fine.
exist,
And-
because I have a history with this issue.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, yes, ma'am, you can do it, about issues, but, we've got to do something just a little bit better for the citizens out here.
I totally agree.
Amanda, would you mind, let's just take just a minute and let's hear what the dispatchers are having to go through, dealing with some situations here right quick.
Well, I can tell you, in the last 2 weeks, we had 8 different instances where we had no instances